It just wrapped up about 20 minutes ago, and right now there is a bit of a party atmosphere in the room as they were sworn in one after another, ending with the mayor. And let's start with her as we show you some video. And at the end of the march here at First and Constitution, you'll see that there's a small group of pro-life advocates that are here gathered with a huge banner and a huge police presence as well to make sure that the two groups are kept separate. A lot of confusion here in southern Delaware. A plane that was sent to Martha's Vineyard full of asylum seekers just last week was set to arrive here in Georgetown, Delaware, some 20 miles away from the president's beach house. But that plane never showed up. I did see some staffers carrying boxes of pizza, so they were expecting to have a long night. They should have another one today.
Oh boy.
Here in Washington, Capitol Police have been through a lot. Of course, there's been the pandemic, and then there's the violent storming of the Capitol. And in the months following January 6th, the Capitol Police saw resignations in its top brass. Behind the scenes, there's a legal battle underway. It's pitting Maryland's Republican candidate for governor, Dan Cox, against the Maryland Board of Elections. The vote is going to be today at 8:30 this morning. Good news for everybody. No need to leave the couch. It's going to be streaming online. Meanwhile, in second place, you can see Donna Edwards has some 35%. She's trying to get her seat back. She held the seat for 5 terms from 2008 to 2017. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin has been trending on Twitter this week for vetoing 26 bills in just the last couple days. And that includes many that had wide-scale bipartisan support. These are projections. The actual ballot counting will likely continue for days. It comes down to this. Until the House Speaker is selected, no action can be done in the House. In fact, none of the House members have been sworn in at this hour, and that means no legislation can be signed into law. There could be no investigations that are started, no action whatsoever.
Well, it's Groundhog Day.
The House of Representatives is still at a standstill, with Republicans unable to choose a speaker after 3 more rounds of voting Wednesday afternoon.
A speaker has not been elected. A speaker has not been elected. A speaker has not been elected.
More than a dozen members are preventing California's Kevin McCarthy from reaching a majority, despite receiving several concessions from the GOP leader.
Nothing is going on. We're all waiting for Congress to start.
D.C. Delegate Eleanor Holmes Norton says that this has brought House business to a complete stop.
I'm not even a member yet. Nobody is a member yet. We can't be members until rules are adopted, until a speaker is chosen.
The political turmoil becoming a source of frustration for many Republicans. Some members of the Intelligence Committee say right now they can't even get briefings on national security.
I'm informed by House Security that technically I don't have a clearance.
Former President Trump and Vice President Mike Pence tried to boost McCarthy on social media, but it didn't seem to sway some hardliners.
The president needs to tell Kevin McCarthy that, sir, you do not have the votes and it's time to withdraw.
The political division, a stark contrast to this rare bipartisan event in Kentucky, bringing President Biden together with Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell.
To be able to have a Congress that can't function is just embarrassing. We're the greatest nation in the world. How can that be?
Meanwhile, Democrats have remained unified throughout this entire process. All 212 of them voted for Representative Hakeem Jeffries from New York. Meanwhile, Kevin McCarthy says he's going to keep talking, keep negotiating, but the question is whether his allies will stick with him or whether they'll grow impatient the longer this goes. Reporting here at the Capitol, I'm Evan Koslof, WUSA 9. Raskin was diagnosed with diffuse large B-cell lymphoma, which is serious but curable. So I started our interview right there, asking about his diagnosis and his chemo treatment, which has already started. Just how you doing? How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm hanging tough. I have 6 chemo treatments. I've done 1 of them. And I'm hanging tough, and the doctors are very optimistic, and I'm extremely optimistic.
It can't be easy hearing those words, you have cancer.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a heavy thing for, a family to hear that.
What has your treatment looked like so far, and how has it impacted your role down on the floor? I hear that they've got you sort of in a closet or something.
Well, yeah, the main problem is that I'm immunocompromised because when you do chemo, it destroys your white blood cells.
Select committee stands adjourned.
All this as Raskin's Democratic Party lost its majority this term, meaning the end of the January 6th committee, which he's on. We asked him what he thought the lasting impacts would be.
My dad used to say that democracy needs a ground to stand on, and that ground is the truth.
I want to talk a little bit about the next 2 years. You guys are now the minority party. What do you anticipate that you may be able to find compromise on?
Well, I'm thinking about that very specifically in the context of my committee because I've I'm taking over as the lead Democrat on the Oversight and Accountability Committee.
Now, this was just a small portion of our interview. We also asked him about his role in the January 6th committee. We got his thoughts on the recent controversy over classified documents. And we asked about the future of statehood in a Republican-controlled House. You can watch the full interview on our streaming service, that's WUSA 9+, or you can head to our website, WUSA9.com. I'm Evan Koslof.